Welcome back to AM Northwest. Did you leave your job in the Great Resignation only to now regret your decision? Here to share ways to get back on track, we welcome the author of Red Cape Rescue, Save Your Career Without Leaving Your Job, Darcy Eikenberg. Hi, Darcy.
Hey, Helen, nice to see you.
So are you seeing a lot of people who did resign and then now they regret it?
I think we're seeing the starting points of it. And some of the conversations that I'm having are with people who are in that wondering state again. And so who knows what the next 6 months to a year will be.
Right.
But it's certainly natural to look back on decisions that we make and wonder, did I make the right decision?
Right, absolutely. Do you think there's a lesson to be learned here, but don't dwell on it?
Absolutely. That's the first thing. I think whenever we feel any pangs of regret, regret is a very helpful emotion as long as we don't let it hold us back. Because what regret does is it says, there's something to learn here. There's something going on here. So it's almost a little physical pain in our bodies, right? So if we've made choices in our job, whether to leave or whether even to stay, and we realize something's not quite right, following that and really digging into it to learn the lessons can help us not only now, but help us going forward in our careers.
Yeah. What about assessing your assumptions? Because a lot of people left their jobs assuming that they're all sorts of things, actually.
One of the things that I think happened a lot is that when we thought we were at the end of the tunnel for some of the return to office things, and we thought things were going to be normal, whatever normal is, right? That there were leaders that were saying, oh, everybody will be back at the office, or everybody will do that. Well, nothing is ever that black and white. But when we hear those messages, sometimes we think, oh, well, if that's the case, then I really want to have the flexibility to continue to work at home. Or I don't want to be full-time work at home. I want to go back to the office. And they make assumptions about what's going to be possible without having deeper conversations and asking for what they want. And so there are so many things changing in our world of work. And the truth is, Helen, that work is all made up. So when something's not working for you, don't assume that it can't be different. This is your opportunity to be able to decide what you want and be able to ask for it.
Right. But don't you think some people are probably a little embarrassed that they maybe left their job and it didn't work out?
Yeah, I think people don't have to be embarrassed. Certainly that is natural. And if you happen to leave in a tick-tocky kind of, big dramatic way and you left your wake behind you, then that's not very good. This is another reason people's memories are long, right? It's like leave with grace and style and professionalism. But if you just left, that's not really against the people that you left. It was a choice you made for you.
Right.
And so I've had people in my leadership career who have said, hey, I would love to just grab breakfast with you. What I thought I was going to wasn't turning out to be that way. I'd just love to open up a conversation. Everybody is adults. If the company can't use you anymore, or they're not going to even consider you, and right now people are hungry for great talent, right? The idea of the boomerang employee, the employee that comes back, is more popular now than ever. And I think we're going to see a lot of boomerangs as long as we're open to saying, you know what, maybe I thought the grass was greener and it's not as green, and I can make more of what I had where I was. Yeah,
it seems like some people will leave their jobs and then want to come back, but let's say just as a consultant maybe. I mean, you say to reframe what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm. You absolutely can reframe your experience. So, you can reframe and even your experience, reframing it to others, what you've learned, maybe what you've grown, maybe how you recognized how there were things that were in your control that you didn't really realize until you stepped back, until you got away from it for a little bit. And you can come back and you can rewrite the rules. You can reset your boundaries. We don't have to go back into the exact same situation, because it becomes a chance to hit that reset button. It can be a clean slate if you make it that way, instead of slipping back into old habits and old agreements with how people are going to work with you and around you.
Yeah. Do you have any examples of people who've gone back, who've boomeranged back and done something a little bit better than what they had before?
Yeah. So one of the best boomerang stories that I know is my friend Joseph, who was on high-performing track, but saw that he didn't think there was any place to grow. The next leaders above him, they were not too much more than his age. And so he went to a more traditional corporate job, and there discovered more things that were important to him that he hadn't articulated before. You know, things about culture, things about how people working together. And so, you know, came to have a conversation, and in that conversation, it gave us also an opportunity to realize how we really wanted to reset his role and use his skills and what he learned. He later became one of the heads of the entire department and has had an awesome career at that company that he once left.
Yeah, and it seems like when you go back, if you boomerang back, if they're interested in you, you can kind of set the rules, like I want to work 4 days a week or want to do a couple days from home.
And here's what I suggest that people say, is they say, one of the things I've learned about me is, because that's not saying you're bad, or one of the things I've learned about me is that I really am more productive in a 4-day work week. I'd love to talk about how we could make that work here. You know, and those are conversations we can have even without leaving our job, right? But to be able to articulate, it's actually one of the chapters in my book about how to ask for what you need, because I think we're sometimes hesitant to get clear on that and then to ask for it, because we make assumptions that, well, if that was going to be allowed, then it would already exist. It doesn't work like that. You have to ask.
Yeah, the rules are different these days. We want to tell our viewers.
There are so many rules.
Yeah, we want to tell our viewers the book again is titled Red Cape Rescue. Darcy Eikenberg, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And we'll be right back with more AM Northwest on the way.